Alright, today we're looking at simplifying the product of radicals. This is going to be very similar to what we did yesterday. Before we do that, try simplifying both of these into simplest radical form, pause, and then come back. Okay, I'm assuming you've done that. Both of these are really easy to do with the perfect squares method, because I know that 81 times 2 and 64 times 2 is equal to both of these. So I get 8 square root of 2 and 9 square root of 2. So hopefully you got both of those. That's a good check to make sure you had everything down that you had down after last lesson. Okay, so here's how products work. Basically the idea is you can multiply numbers that are not in square roots by numbers that are not in square roots and numbers inside square roots by other numbers inside square roots. Okay, so if we look at this situation here, I cannot simplify the square root of 5 or the square root of 30 on their own. There's no perfect squares that go into 30. But if I multiply these, I get the square root of 150. 150, on the other hand, I can simplify. 25 goes into that 6 times. 25 times 6. The square root of 25 is 5. So I get 5 times the square root of 6 is equal to 5 times 30. So sometimes you can't simplify these to begin with, but then what you find is later on you actually are able to simplify after you multiply. Okay, this next one, again, this one's a little bit different. I could simplify the square root of 12 ahead of time, or I don't have to simplify the square root of 12 ahead of time. It's really kind of up to me as to how that would work. But I'm going to do this kind of the standard way. So I multiply 4 and 9 to get 36, and I multiply 12 and 6 to get 72. Now I can simplify the square root of 72 into the square root of 36 times 2. 36 is a good perfect square that goes in there. Now the question is, what do we do with that 6 that comes out? Well, this is multiplication. So I'm going to do multiply by the 6. 36 times 6, that's easy to do in my head. That's 180 plus 36 is 216. So I get 216 times the square root of 2. All right, that's really it for this. It's not too bad, so why don't you go ahead and as a check, try the next one on your own. Remember, outside times outside, inside times inside is what you can do. Okay, so I'm assuming you've paused and come back. If you haven't, shame on you. You should really do that. I get 15 times the square root of 6 times 15 is 90. The largest square root, or perfect square, that goes into 90 is 9, so I can write this as 9 times 10. The square root of 9 is 3, so I get 15 times 3 times the square root of 10, or 45 times the square root of 10. Okay, so products are really not too much different. The big thing that you have to remember is numbers on the outside can be multiplied by numbers on the outside, inside times inside, but you can't cross-match those. And then the other thing to remember is once you kind of reduce that square root, you're going to be multiplying the number that comes out. Okay? That's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully that was pretty easy for you.